Hello, everyone, and welcome to On the Rise with Miss Phoenix. I am your host, Miss Phoenix. Here is where we give platforms for everyday people to tell about their experiences, their journey, to give encouragement, to promote whatever it is that they may be doing in the community. Just real people, real talk, real life, making everyone a better them. Today, I have on my show a special guest, woman that I love so dearly, Miss Karima McKenzie. I'm so happy that she came on this show. She has so much stuff going on. We're going to discuss her book. She is an educator. She's been an educator in the school system for about 16 years.
Yes.
She was a math teacher, athletic director, and now she's a vice principal. So
Correct.
thank you. Welcome on the show, Miss McKenzie.
Thank you for
Is there
having me.
anything else that you just want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Oh man, yeah. I've been a size athletic director. I've been a coach, basketball
Okay.
coach, on a high school level and on a college level. I've
Okay.
also been an interim head coach at Kane University,
Okay.
and got a couple degrees in sports management and coaching, as well as in educational administration. Um, And those are some of my other major highlights, I guess.
Listen, she's awesome. Okay.
Mhm.
After this interview, you guys are going to see just her awesomeness. I love her dearly.
Aw, thank
So
you.
I'm just so happy that you came on this show. We're going to talk about this book
Okay.
that you have put together. I say it's a journal, it's a devotional, it's
Hmm.
an inspiration. Guys, after you read this, I'm going to tell you, just go get this. It's going to just inspire you and make you look at life and think about some things a little differently.
Hmm.
um so in your book,
Hmm.
right,
Yes,
um you said, your intro, you said that you wish that you had this guy in your teenage years.
correct.
Can you just elaborate why? First of all, let's backtrack. Let's backtrack to the title of the book. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
The title of the book is called Temples Are Sacred and So Are You.
Yes.
What made you come up with that title?
Listen, it started with me. I have a Christian background,
Okay.
and you know, First Corinthians. Uh, can't remember the exact scripture right now, but in Corinthians it tells us to conduct our bodies like temples. And when I started writing the book, I just knew that that's the direction I was going in terms of wanting people to honor their temples, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it stems from scripture, and I just wanted to pull on that scripture much deeper than what it is. What is it really saying,
Mm-hmm.
right? How do we embody that on a daily basis? So that's where it was the inspiration came from.
Mm-hmm.
I took it and made it universal, right?
Okay.
Took it and made it for everybody.
Okay.
No matter what your faith is, no matter what, you know, how you've grown up, color of your skin, what age you are. It's about honoring our temples, our physical bodies, our mind, body, and spirit on all levels. So
So, what made you decide to write this book? That in this day and age, with anything that you could have written,
yeah,
what geared you to write this?
my own personal experience of not honoring my own temple, right?
Okay.
Not honoring my own temple led me to a deep battle with anxiety,
Okay.
depression, suicidal,
Mm-hmm.
um, just a lot of pain for a period of years. And what is the nuts and bolts of it is simply that I wasn't honoring my temple,
Okay.
right? If I was honoring my temple, then things wouldn't have gotten as bad for me as they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I would have prioritized myself. I would have not allowed someone to treat me a certain way. I would not have, um, you know, just conducting myself in a way that I wasn't eating properly, sleeping properly, all these different things that we often take for granted, right?
Right.
And then I just said, no, enough is enough, and took me down a dark path, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that path birthed this book. So
Right.
I can't be mad at it. You know what I mean? I can't be mad at it anymore. It's actually, how your pain pretty much becomes your purpose. And that's really what's happening right now. So I compiled all of the things that I wanted to say
Mm-hmm.
um, to a teenager or to my teenage self. Like I literally wrote it to myself
Okay.
first, because it's just like, I was thinking like, what do I want to know? What would I have wanted to know?
Okay.
And it's the first truth in the book. That truth,
Right.
as simple as it is, I did not realize that life was so hard until I hit a wall. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
And it's like, we need to tell these young girls this a lot sooner. Like, it's not a game out here. It's not
Right.
going to get easier. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, life is hard. That's the
Yeah.
first truth.
Yes. I listen. I agree, and I like to say that sometimes the first step of healing, you have to go back to the very beginning where healing was needed.
Yes, correct.
Um, like you said, we don't tell young ladies, young girls enough. We don't prepare them for life.
Yes.
And then it takes the roughest experience for them to try to grasp it. When
Yeah.
I feel like if we had somebody, like you said, in your thing, if you had somebody to guide you and you wish somebody would have told you these things when you was younger,
Yeah.
your teenage years, it could have helped. It probably would have helped prepare you for some of the stuff that you face.
Absolutely.
I like to say God already he knows the plan that he
Yeah.
has for us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes we go down roads, and it's part of our process and the plan because it's some things that he bursts out of us. So, like when you were saying in your book, you said you talked about how it was birthed during a dark period.
Yeah.
So Psalms 23:4 came to my mind, and it says, even though I walk through the darkest valleys, I will fear
Mm.
no evil, but thou art with me, thy rod and your staff, you comfort me. And I began to think about the valley experience.
Yes.
And when we go through our valley, one of some of the darkest moments in our lives, we find ourselves that they're finding ourselves
Yep.
because now you're walking through a period where and I'm sure you can test where you may have been surrounded by people but you were alone.
Oh, tell me about it, child.
you, you
Man,
it,
listen.
it was a moment,
Listen.
yes,
That's
where
the
you
realest thing ever.
everybody, it seems like, and everybody like you were telling about your achievements and your accolades, and I read your bio, and I thought about just like when I was talking to another guest, I was thinking about how we can have so much going for us, and we be at such a supposed to be at such high point in our lives,
Correct.
but because there is so much underlining factors of stuff that we are dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
it leads us into a dark place
Yeah.
where while you got people surrounding you, you are at your most loneliest state where you're alone because now there's some healing that needs to be made.
Why am I getting emotional?
It's okay. Listen, we cry here. I share, but it's in those moments where and I always have to say that there has there's a breaking in the healing because so many times we go through life and we think we healed through some things, but like a bone, if it's set wrong, the doctor breaks it back to fix it. So in this journey, like I said, reading this book, this journey, and I was reading, I can identify with a lot of it because it's just the fact of, like I share with you privately, like it's just because I understand the process of wish somebody would have warned me. I wish somebody would have told me how I'm to care for myself, to love myself, to not put stake in other stuff. It's about self-love and self-care and respecting who I am and understand the values that I hold, the treasures that's me, that's precious.
Yeah, so I think the irony, right, of you doing this interview with me, right? Because I got emotional because as you were speaking about the valley, I realized how much Snyder, right, was my valley of my entire life. Like Snyder High School represents some of my lowest moments in my life. So it's coming full circle to see that while it was that, it's also about to be my brightest mountain, right? Because I think you are one who's actually been able to be a witness to my transformation. Like, if people only knew how much pain I was in
daily
during that time, right? And why I needed to step completely away from everything and to come back now, right? And I don't know, maybe you could speak to the Karima you see now to compare to the Karima then.
Right.
You know, I know I feel different, but I don't know, you know what I mean? But I say all that to say that's where temples are sacred. It's where you came from. It's this deep transformation within me of wanting to tell my story and wanting other girls and women. It's not just for young girls. It's for me. It's for you. It's for all of us. And it's to say, don't sacrifice yourself for anybody. You know what I mean? And I got the title at Berry Lane Park. Yo, I was in a phase of, over the summer, I was in a phase of deep, routine of, wake up, walk to Berry Lane, meditate, right? The mountaintop where the pillars purple at. And I just knew it was around Temple. I just was like, Temple, Well, at first it was gonna be like, treat your body like a temple. I'm like, that's corny, Karima. Like, that's corny. And then as I'm like doing some meditation and stretches or whatever, I was like, well, how do you describe a temple? So that was my first question. And then I was like, okay, temples are sacred.
Right.
And it was like, boom, light bulb. It just hit me. It was like, I was like, think about temples are sacred and so are you. And I text my mom, was the first person I texted, like, Mom, what about this title? She's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. And that's it. That's the story of how the title came about. But right in the nick of healing, right? And sacrificing, not even sacrificing, but now choosing myself. This is how a book comes about. When you choose yourself, you like, nah, man.
Me first. No, I understand that. I share with a lot of people. Like, I'll put something up. I think I put up a picture and I said, this journey is personal. This time I choose me and I put me first. So I like to say that as people, we pour so much of ourselves out into other people. And especially when you are in a state of, you don't have it all together and you're dealing with, it's like you are an empty pitcher pouring out to people and everybody's getting full but you. So now you're left with voids and just different things that you are experiencing and you're going through. And you have to come to a point where, if I'm going to survive, I got to put me first. I have to. I tell them, I apologize but I'm selfish right now. I'm selfish with me because the journey to getting to this person took me through some things. And when you started saying, when you were like, I can see from, I don't know, we worked together for I don't know how many years, but
Wow, it's been, I think this is the ninth because
okay.
I was AD for 7 years, man. That's
So
crazy.
as I feel like in the in the 9 years of working with you,
Hmm.
this last couple of months, I got to know you.
Thank you. Because I
Where
did not show anybody who I was before then.
and
So I
I
second that.
yeah, I feel like I've gotten to know you in a different light. I think we've got to know each other a little differently, even with being able to conversate like just differently. And
Yeah.
I I say that's because we're both on a healing journey.
Yes.
Um, like I said, I'm at a stage where it's me first. Like
Mm.
I have to be selfish with me because again, I understand that feeling of that dark moment, that valley moment, that moment where you can have so much but still be so lonely and still be broken in some areas where you do got to go back to the beginning was like where what happened. I need to talk to her. And
Yeah.
so I wrote in my book that I wrote, Soar.
Hmm.
It's called Shattering Opinions, Achieving Rebirth. And in the book, I just encourage people to break the opinions and the things that people have spoken over you,
Yeah.
said about you, and
Hmm.
you've been trying to live in this light of somebody else's opinion. Um, I think one of the chapters I have, it was like unmasked. And I said so many times we stay masked up way before this pandemic. People don't know who you are because you
Absolutely.
now put on this mask and you become everything that somebody else said you were. And then you don't even know who you really are.
Hmm.
So it's another one where I say it's like a mirror. And I do it daily. And a lot of people that I come in contact with was like, I don't want to do this. But a it's a self-reflection thing. And I
Hmm.
tell people you stand in the mirror and you see yourself.
Yes.
Scars, flaws, what it is, whatever it is, you see yourself for who you are
Hmm.
and you love that person
Yes.
because
Necessary.
because God loves us, scars, flaws, whatever.
Hmm.
He sees us naked all and loves us. And if he can love us despite whatever, you can love yourself.
Hmm.
And the biggest part of that is okay, this may, knowing that when you look in the mirror, like you talked about health and fitness in your book and different
Hmm.
things like that, and watching what you eat, you can, if you don't like something, you don't like your hair, you can change it. You don't
Yes.
like your features, your body, you can change it. But love that person while you're changing those things that you, and change it because it's you, that
Right.
not based on somebody else's opinion, but based on you. Because I, and know that no matter what I look like, I'm beautiful and I love
Hmm.
myself.
Yes.
So when we talked about your book, and I get excited because like I said, I love it. Even though you have geared it for teenagers,
Yes. Just not. I
it's
realized it.
not.
I did, but honestly, Simmons, I did not realize it until like later down the road. Like the book's already out. You know what I mean? I'm like, hold up. When I needed to refer to the book myself,
Right.
I knew that, oh man, what I've done is something quite amazing here. Like it's not just for teens at all. You know what I mean?
No.
Because everybody that would get it, it was them that were saying, I needed this, I needed this, I needed this. I'm like, cool. Like, all right, so it's not just for teens. Great.
Right.
You know?
And I believe it's because all of us have that younger person
That inner child.
inside
Yeah.
that needed to. And sometimes, I like when they say, if you could say something to your younger self, what would you say?
Yes.
And it's because we're looking at where we're at now and said, listen, this is what I will tell you. So this book is just that speaking to that inner child, that inner person that, like you said, when you didn't have someone to guide you, when you didn't have somebody to tell you certain things,
Mm-hmm.
this is, and I love it because I'm like, it ain't just for the teenagers, it ain't just for the kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's for everybody. And it's deep, but it's not deep. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
on purpose, right? Like I was like, we just gonna do snippets because
right,
we can't go too deep because I'm gonna lose them if I go too deep.
right,
You know what I mean, I want to just introduce concepts, right?
right,
And those concepts lead to questions, and those questions lead to discussions, and those discussions lead to hopefully change and adjustment.
right.
You know what I mean? So that's really what the intention is. And already, in Snyder, we're making some moves, quiet moves, but we're making moves. There's the knuckleheads that have been constantly in my office and slide them a book. Come on, sit down. You know what I
So
mean?
yeah, I believe in transparent. I'm messing this word up. Being transparent.
Yes.
Okay. Because real recognize real.
Yes.
And I feel like I said in the book, Mask, I feel like we're masked so much we don't make a difference. But if
Mm-hmm.
somebody knew your story and they can look at you now because they're like, I need this, I'm there.
Yeah.
But if you at walking around like everything's okay, the
Yeah.
very person who needs the help is never going to come to you because now you look like you have it all together.
Absolutely.
But so I love it that you're in the position that you're in now, that when they come in your office and they're looking at the book and they're reading your story and they're seeing, and they're like, wow, she's touchable, it's attainable, she understands, she can what I'm
Relate.
saying, she's
Truly
not going to
relate.
talk at me, she's going to
Yeah.
talk to me.
Absolutely. Like I'm telling you, Simmons, I'm just totally different, right? Like my approach with children now, you know what I mean? Like I'm not hard nosed anymore. I don't have to be,
Hmm.
right?
Right,
Because I realize all they need at the end of the day is love. That's all they're looking for. Even the ones that are acting a fool,
right,
lack of love around them. That's all that is.
yes,
So
yes,
even when they trying to wild out, I understand. I look at them and say that's just trauma. So
it's
like
trauma,
it's trauma, right?
it's
So
trauma.
even like I said, the it's roughest and toughest ones are the ones that end up in my office somehow, and I'm sliding them a book. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I'm leveling with them and saying, listen, the reality is that I'm about solutions here. I hear
Yes.
you venting. So what can we do? What's the solution?
How are we gonna fix it? How are we
How are
gonna
we gonna
change it?
fix it? You could vent all day, you could, whatever, but certain things you can't do because
Right.
you're gonna get in trouble, right?
Right.
I'm about reasoning right now and leveling with them and being a different energy towards them. They get a lot of flack, you
Yeah.
know, on many sides.
Right.
Now I'm trying to be a bridge a gap and
Right.
be a different present differently, right? Just
Right.
because I'm the administrator now, I just want to present differently, you know, like, like me, like on the dress down days, stuff like that, right? Where
Yeah.
now I'm coming in here looking fly like y'all, and I ain't like
Yeah.
that's my energy with them, like, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Miss McKenzie, you lit? Yeah, I know, I'm lit." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's my gateway though. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Once they see I can relate to them there, they like, "Oh, she cool, she different." Yeah, I'm different.
Right.
Yeah, I'm different. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm real different.
They get to see, and what I like about it, they get to see you. They get
Yeah,
to see
my authenticity.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They get to like, oh, she's different, and I can go to her. She's
Yeah.
approachable.
Mm-hmm.
She's not standoffish. Like, she's not. I can come to her, and I know that she's gonna be real with me in
Mm-hmm.
all aspects.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hold that thought. We're gonna
Okay.
break for a couple minutes, and we will be right back with more with Karima about her book, about her journey, and just everything. We just sharing today. So hold up. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We have more with Karima. She has shared so much. We didn't share tears. We laughed like so much, and you probably gonna cry some more up in here. But we thank you for staying tuned. And so we're gonna talk about this, the temple.
Yep.
So in your book, you broke down each letter
Yes.
to mean something.
Hmm.
Can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
All right. So my thought process was the word temples is 7 letters.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, let's come up with like seven concepts or seven thoughts or 7 ideas that will put a young girl on a bright path in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing not everything about life, right? But at least the nuts and bolts, right? Of what could have them if they never do anything ever again. This book, you get life through this book,
Right.
So, first T was truth, trauma, trust, and train.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit him hard right in the beginning with the truth. It's the truth that matters, right? So I just tell them the truth about life and that it's just difficult. And it's not any easier as you get older, one. And two, it's not easier from one person to the next. Everybody has the same experience with life, and that is the truth about life, you know? Okay. So that's the main concepts in the first chapter. Then you have E, exercise and elevation. You know, physical movement, super important in the body. Elevation, I talk about how to elevate your game, right? How to elevate, and not necessarily the game in the sports world, but the game of life. How do you elevate? You know, be coachable, accept constructive criticism. Those are some examples of the things I touched on there. And then M was for meditation and manifestation, right? Being able to sit with ourselves and quiet the noise around us. P was for pray and protect. It truly doesn't matter what your faith is, what you believe in. We should have a daily devotion or daily prayer that we call in protection, right? Protection for ourselves, protection for our wombs, right? Protection for our life force, right? All of these things I spoke on. And then you have L for love and learn. In that chapter, I talk about really loving ourselves, right? And then never stop being a learner. Learning is what makes life what it is, right? You have to learn constantly. What we got? L, what says that? P, L, love and learn. Last E is eat to live, right? I really touch on the best ways to consume. And it doesn't matter what you consume, but just be mindful of your intake, how much, how often, right? And I mean, I've been plant-based for about 4 years now, and I've fluctuated a lot on the journey, but overall, it's what works for me right now. And then the last is smile, speak, and surround. And smiling, that's my trait, right? I was robbed of that for a long time, you know what I mean? And now that I've taken full ownership of it again, I'm reading. That's the first thing that people are gonna see is my smile. You know what I mean? And speak up, right? Speak your truth, and don't matter. It doesn't matter how someone takes your truth. You still need to speak up. And the last part was to surround ourselves with people, like-minded people, right? That value us, that edify us, that treat us with respect. And that you do all of those things. I mean, you really have a good foundation of how to get through life. And I listen, even as I spiel all that really quickly, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I did this, right? I mean, I'm like, who are you?
This came out of me, like, wow.
No, seriously, like what?
No, so it's the birth of you and showing the world you. It's the hitting you is the whole introduction, because I feel like this journey has shown you to show people who you are, you. And
Yeah.
you're like introducing. You said something to me when we were talking. You was like, I feel like people don't know me.
They
Like
don't. It's
they
okay.
don't.
I mean, I'm on a path now to make sure people know me. I got a song I be bumping lately. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. That's how I'm
Yes.
coming. That's how I'm coming for
Yeah,
real.
no, for
Like,
real. Like, yes.
yeah, no, you don't know me. You don't know me, family. Like,
Because, and you know what? Because you were so guarded,
oh man, I had to be. Oh
but
my god.
it's the hurt, the trauma, all of
Yes.
that. We protect ourselves,
Yes.
right? So when you're going through life and
Yep.
life happens, because you start with your T, like the trust is broken and
Yes.
people don't tell you the truth, and you
Exactly.
go through all of this. So now you start safeguarding yourself,
Absolutely.
right?
Not trust it, no one. Like,
And
don't want to
so
come near me. I
yeah,
don't want to have a
so now
relationship
you
with
questioning
you.
people's motives. Like, I don't
Yep.
know why you here. I don't know what.
Yep.
So now I'm safeguarding. So I'm only gonna trust you with the piece of me that I want you to see, and
Correct.
everything else is like safeguarded.
Yep.
So now it's like I found me. I love me,
Yep.
and I'm the bomb. So I'm gonna show you me. Like I'm
Exactly.
dope. Like I said, I was like, people get mad at me. They were like, I said I'm dope. And they're
Yeah,
like,
word.
no, I'm like, if I don't believe that I'm dope, who's gonna believe it?
Yeah.
So it's just
Facts.
like you get to show who you really are, and people are getting to see you. So that's when, like, the smile is genuine. That's why people can
Children.
see it, and that's
Yeah.
why you embrace it. Because now I'm at a place where, like I said, this journey is personal for you. Like
Real
the
personal.
I had to fight through some things to get here. Like,
Yeah.
and I share that. I don't mind sharing that with my audience or my guests. Like,
Hmm.
I fought through depression. It was many times I walked the hallways of Snyder, not happy, fighting
Hmm.
depression, trying to be what everybody else wanted me to be. And I was like, even as a mother, like it was times I wanted to give up. But like I like when you was talking about Berry Lanes.
Yeah.
My sacred place is the water.
Mm.
Like, and most people who know me, when it's nice outside, they know I'm someplace sitting by the water, because I've learned I took my thoughts of me wanting to end my life in the water, to go back to the
Mm.
water to reflect.
Mm.
So that's where I go. I reflect, I meditate, I pray, I
Hmm.
seek answers. And one thing I like about watching the water, no matter how hard it crashes up against the side
Hmm.
and the waves go back down,
Yeah.
it mellows out.
Always.
So that's how I look at it. Like, no matter how hard the storm crashes,
Yeah.
it has to mellow out. That if I can just stay firm and go through it, it will mellow out and hold on to my focus. So, like, when you was talking about the book, and you was saying, you stated that there are times in our lives, the hard when it's hard to trust the truth, that no matter how dark things are, um brighter days is on its way.
Yes.
That's that piece of hope, that no matter how dark it may be, the sun gonna rise,
Absolutely. The
and you
sun
gonna
still rises no matter
it
what.
rises.
Yeah.
Then you talked about a question on exercise and elevation. It was like, we must release toxins out of our bodies,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So when I was reading that, I'm a firm, like, energy. Like, I tell people all the time, I got time, your energy. I'm not absorbing. So a lot of people look at it as though what we put in our bodies, but even what we surround ourselves can be
Yes.
toxic to us.
Absolutely.
People,
Yes.
places, like, so many times, and I tell people, transferring the energy is real. Like,
Absolutely.
if you're with somebody who is toxic, or around people who are negative, and that's all gonna rub off on you. You're gonna be negative. You got the energy, so you have to really learn to protect that energy source around you.
Mm-hmm.
At times, like I don't know if you notice, like in the morning you see me, I walk in and I just breeze through and I keep going.
Yep.
And I told them, I said, what's important for me is even though I'm in the post in the back, from 6:30 till I come in at 8 o'clock is my meditation. I sit in the car and I get my energy right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm careful when I'm walking through because I start picking up energy and I was like, not today. And
Yeah.
I'll just graze on through. And then I may come back and say whatever. But it's important because that transformation of energy is important. So
Yes.
then, of course, we was talking about meditation and manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer in declarations,
Yes.
speaking over yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um and affirmations. Like I'm really, because if you start to say it, you'll begin to believe it and
Yes.
you'll begin to manifest it. It will
Yes.
become. If you say I'm happy, I'm loved, I'm joyful, like as your day go, those things start coming and you start believing that, and you begin to manifest the very thing. So when I was reading your book, I was just like, whoa, like is this my story? Is she telling my story? Is this like, why is she all in my business? Like, this is the path, like, and I was like, that's why I kept telling you, I was like, I love it. Like, because I started reading it.
Gratitude.
And I had to go back and say, no, this is not just a read through.
Yeah.
This is a book that you've got to take. And what I like is at the end of each,
Practice the pause.
yes, reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing I wish you would have had is like a little spacing so I can write in the book.
so me and my editor, we went back and forth about that.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's like, so, and then let's walk the talk. We tell him grab a pen and paper,
Right?
Because it costs more production wise to add.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know, so I'm like, they get a piece of paper.
They get a pen and piece of paper.
But I am going to create a journal with it, and
okay.
Possibly add, and I'll ask your opinion on this. For each, did you feel like it was enough, right? Meaning enough of me, right? Do you think you come out of that book knowing who Karima is?
You come out of the book and you can understand the journey you went through to being this person. But I know that the story is not complete.
Okay.
So as reading it, I see there's a part 2 that's coming.
Okay. Good. That's good. Because my next thought was, because the feedback I've been getting is, I wish you'd have told me more about you, right? And I said, well, I was gonna leave that for, speaking engagements and things like that.
Right.
But now I'm wondering now, as I sit with you, just like you said, you wanted to add, the writing session.
Yeah.
I really wanted to for each letter give my personal account.
Okay.
Not long, but a personal account of my experience with the letter.
Okay.
I want to know your thoughts on that, because and I won't go deep again, right? I'll still leave them wanting to know more.
Right.
But in a nutshell, I felt like I wasn't sure that the book was communicating, the true core of who I am,
It's a blueprint and a guide for people to get to know, even though it's about your journey, but it's your guide with people to help them on their journey.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said I feel like it's a part 2. I'm going to tell you, like my brother-in-law just said to me last week. So he called me to share some things and deposit some things into my life.
Yeah.
And he says, you wrote the book, but you didn't tell the full story.
Mm-hmm.
Now you opened the door.
Yes.
So now that you have them inside, tell the story.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm going to say the same thing to you. Now that you have them inside and they're sitting there with you, now it's time for you to tell the story. Because sometimes we can tell the full story ahead of time and not fully have the attention.
Yeah.
But now that you have the attention, that they're like, wow, I see you now and I see where you came,
Yeah.
but now let me hear the story.
Yeah.
Like you know about somebody, and then when you sit and talk to them, you be like, wow, that's the
Yeah.
story behind all of this.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that next part of,
I
because
got
there's
another
so
another
you
song.
didn't go through, and you have not fought through the stuff that you went through, and you only do the surface
I do. Yeah.
of what you went through. Like you have like a strong testimony and a
Mhm.
strong story
Yeah.
that there is somebody that's going to encounter you that is at the very place of where you came from,
Mm-hmm.
and the the very story that comes out of your mouth is going to save their life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is my full belief, and I know that, I say all the time, I don't know why God gives some of us hard journeys,
Woo, child, talk about it. Like
because you
I tell you, Simmons. I tell you, Simmons. Man, if people only knew, they're gonna know one day. If
I,
people only knew my story.
I
Oh
said,
my
I
God.
don't know, you know, I go through the building and I laugh sometimes at some stuff and I say, really, God, really? I mean, can you make it just a little easy for me? Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just just a little bit. Like, for real? Who told you I was this strong? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like the guy, I don't know his name, but he's on Instagram to do the reels. Lord, like, for real?
Yeah.
Who said I was this strong? Give this to somebody else. Like, give me a break. But I'm starting to realize that my story isn't for me.
Yeah.
It's for somebody else. And like you said, it's for that teenage boy or girl,
Yep.
that young adult,
Yep.
that adult, middle age, because somewhere down the line you lost focus of who you were.
Yep.
Somebody didn't tell you that this walk was going to be what it is,
Yeah.
and it became, you made, sometimes we make life like false reality. Like
Correct.
we create in us this thing, and that's not really life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so because it's a false reality, we have false expectations of what, and that's just not it.
It's not it. And
So
yeah,
to
man.
know
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
to know that, look, I'm still here. Like, it tried to take, and I try not to, for my viewers who are not religious, I am who I am, and y'all know who I am. So it comes out, it's just gonna come out. Um, I like to laugh because I like to say the enemy, the devil, whoever you want to say,
Mm-hmm.
who tried to make you self doubt
Mm-hmm.
and take you out of here,
Mm-hmm.
seeing the greater purpose that's inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
and what he meant for bad, God has made it so good that it's like the light is shining so bright on you, and and because you went through the avenues of doors that's opening,
Yeah.
because there are so many people waiting to hear this story.
Absolutely.
There's so many people waiting to, and what I like about it is people who have been around you your whole life
Mm-hmm.
are getting to see who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And they are benefiting from this, Karima.
Yes.
Like, yes, the other one did whatever, but this one is dope. Like, I'm just,
Listen, man, like so I'm glad you touched on that because believe it or not, there are many people, I've experienced it already, that does not like this new Karima, believe it or not, man.
They're
They're
not.
like, it's just resistance, resistance and just lack of support, lack of doing anything around supporting this and what I'm doing. And I've been in tears over it. I'm just keeping it 100 right now. You know what I
Listen,
mean? I've gone through this valley, this journey, and I come out
you got me
new,
about to
right? I come out new, and I got people on my left and to my right of me looking at me like, who are you? And go back to being that other Karima. You know what I mean? So I want to speak to the importance of moving. When you change, when you move forward, that you're gonna ruffle some feathers. So
when you go to the next level, you got. I just said you now. You're gonna make my lashes come off. I'm over here.
No, I done made you. Oh Lord, I ain't even peep. I'm sorry, but it's
I
true.
had to take. So when you go to the next stages of your life, and I can testify that the people you look for, the people that should be your cheerleaders, your support,
Yeah.
and then you notice that because you've grown, they can't really identify or fashion who you are.
Yeah. They can't.
And it's a hurtful thing because
It
you feel
really is.
like if nobody else was supposed to support me and nobody else was supposed to be cheering for me, it should have been you. But I'm learning in this journey that everybody can't go to the next level.
Come on, preacher.
Because
they can't come. They can't come.
The weight of elevation. It's like being on a plane and a plane gear, and they be like, you gotta eliminate some weight. Some people have only went as far as they can go. And one of the hardest part is for us to realize is no love lost.
Yeah.
But it's personal.
It is.
So I have to go, and I'm a firm believer that as you go to the next level, God has already put people in line on that next level.
Correct.
That's going to be with you and be to you what you need for them to be.
Correct.
As you elevate. I put up a thing today on this. So funny that we're talking about on Instagram, and it says your circle may change in size but increase in value, and it had a nickel. And a nickel is so much bigger than a dime.
Penny and a dime, yep.
But the nickel is big, a circle, but the dime is smaller, but it's more money and value. So many times our circle gets smaller, but the value of the people that's in that circle has increased.
That analogy. I love
so
that.
Now we're at a point where there are times where some dead things gotta fall off. We are in our tree growing stage. And although I like to say the fall leaves are beautiful, when you see the leaves in the fall, they're beautiful, they're orange and red. But the changing of the color means they're dying. And no matter how long a tree has been there, it knows that it must shed the dead things.
Yeah.
So no matter how long people may have been, we have to realize when the seasons and life is up for some people. And it hurts that everybody can't go, but it's purposeful.
Yes.
So I want to encourage you.
Thank you.
Because I understand it. I wrote the book, and it's funny because certain people that I thought would have purchased my book didn't purchase the book. And so when I asked them questions, I'm like, you didn't get my book? Or even my podcast. Yeah. Did you subscribe to my podcast? Did you watch it? And I'm like, wow.
Mm.
So I understand the hurt, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand God was like, don't worry about it. I've already set you up with people on the next level. Just keep going.
Yeah.
The doors is open for you.
Ashe.
After this, I'm gonna step back because and give you the floor. But the door has opened
Mm-hmm.
for you to walk through
Mm-hmm.
because you have now come out of your valley.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's time for you to enjoy the mountaintop of your valley experience.
Yes.
Because at the mountaintop is where you're going to have people sitting to hear your story, to
Yes.
wait to be healed, to wait to be taught,
Mm-hmm.
to wait to be guided
Mm-hmm.
into the better version of them.
Yes.
Because the people that were supposed to drop the ball along the way.
Yeah.
So your story is going to change their life.
Mm-hmm. Ready for it. Um, despite that energy and those behaviors, lives are being changed, man. And it's like, impact is being made, and it's like this train is not stopping. No matter your support, no matter your envy,
Yes.
no matter your jealousy, like all these things. Listen, I had
Favor,
to have.
not fear. Listen,
It's not. It's not.
favor is not fair.
It really
And
isn't.
it's just not. And people, like, it's not. That's all I got. It's not fair. So, I
Yeah.
mean, jealousy and whatever. Listen, if you knew, it's personal. Because, like, if you knew what I had to go through
Seriously.
to be this person here,
Yeah.
I tell people, I say that a lot. I tell them, if you knew what I had to go through
Mm-hmm.
to be who I am today,
Yeah.
I told my publisher, she was asking me, she asked me about the book, and I said, if it changes one person's life,
Yes, that's all that matters.
it all that matters. If I
Mhm.
reach, I want to reach thousands but if I can reach one person and make
Mhm.
a difference in one person's life, then I'm good with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm going back away and I'm going to give you the floor to
Okay.
share your final thoughts. Let them know where they can find you. Guys, she will be back on the show again soon. It's just so much that
Know
we
it.
just, we can go for hours and talk. But how they can find you, where they can get the book at, how they can follow you on social media, things of that nature, and you can impart whatever words that you want to our viewers. The floor is yours.
Awesome. So, to my viewers, well, not my viewers, Miss Phoenix's viewers, I would like you to know that wherever you are a sacred temple. You are a sacred temple, and that means that you are worthy. You're worthy to honor yourself, to guard yourself, to love yourself unconditionally. That's what the book is all about. It's about teaching us how to love ourselves to the extreme, right? Such that when we love ourselves, coming from our core, then that is what allows us to really pour out and love others better. So I know we've been taught the other way around, love other people, but not at the sacrifice of yourself, not anymore. I want you to love yourself first and then pour out. So that's my final thought. And then to get the book, it's located in two places. One on Amazon. Literally, when you type in the word "temples are," the book comes right up. So that's an easy thing. And that only on Amazon is the ebook version. Okay. And then you could get the hard copy, the paperback version on my website, www.taatsolutions.com. Social media platforms, I am at TAAT Solutions on all platforms. And for Facebook and Instagram, you can also follow me at Karima, Karima McKenzie, McKenzie. That's where you could find me, folks. I'd be more than happy to service you. And especially when it comes to that eat to live. I have another business in which I help people eat to live with doing short-term detoxes, salad preps, or juice preps. So sea moss, all those type things. My website has it all. Check it out. And that's all I got. Simmons, thank you so much for having me. So much gratitude. And as I step into this new phase and new journey in my life, I'm just, um, doors are opening. And this is another door that just opened. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful, Simmons, that you ain't judged me.
This is a
She was
listen.
like, F her.
This is a judgment-free zone. This
Yeah.
is when this was placed. This was something that was supposed to be birthed last year.
Okay.
Um, and I kept putting it off.
Okay.
But I was like, this is something needed. A place where people can be real, tell their journey, tell their stories, and avenues that probably wouldn't open up to tell them. So I am very honored. There's no judgment here. I love everything about you. I love this new you
Thank you.
because I feel like this new you. Because you're right, the other you was guarded. Like I know discipline and this, yeah. So this you, I love it, and I'm glad that the kids can experience this you, and I just look forward to everything that's to come. Like I can't even tell you what I see so much greatness that's about to happen.
I received that.
In your life. I really see so much. We'll share that privately, but I really see so much that's gonna happen. Guys,
you find out you a prophet over here.
Guys,
I'm gonna call you Prophetess Simmons when I see you. Yeah,
guys, thank you so much for tuning in to On the Rise with Miss Phoenix. Thank you so much to our guests. Listen, like, click, share, subscribe. We're here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Where we have everyday people, everyday life journeys, sharing their experiences, encouraging, motivating you to become a better you. This is what it's about. Becoming a better you, overcoming whatever hurdles, healing, all types of things. So thank you again. Guys, listen, tell somebody that we're here. Share this. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And we look forward to seeing you again on the rise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.